Hey everyone, so welcome in. I'm doing a quick video today to talk about some frequently asked questions that I get about foundation and concealer and a little bit about skincare. So let me just dive right in. I usually get asked, does it matter the order that you put the products on? Yes and no. A lot of it is your personal preference, and sometimes it does make sense that you use certain products in a certain order to get the most effectiveness out of them. So when I get up in the morning, I do wash my face with only water. I use our cleanser at night before I go to bed, but I don't use it in the morning because I have such dry, sensitive skin that I find washing it more than once a day really tends to make the problem worse. So I just rinse off with plain water and a Norwex face cloth first thing in the morning. And then next up, I use my toner. It is a good idea to use toner before you use anything else, because that is going to wake up your skin. It's going to tighten your pores. We have 4 different scents now of these. There is the original rose water. This one is the grapefruit. It smells like citrus. It's awesome. One I like to use at night is the lavender, and then we also have the cucumber. So those are all nice and refreshing, great way to wake your skin up. Next up, I always use my daily moisturizer. This is important. You want to absolutely put your moisturizer on before you put any makeup on. If you're going to use the shield, the veil that has SPF in it, you would want to use this right after your moisturizer. I use that every day just because I have such sensitive skin and I do make so many trips to the dermatologist that it makes sense that I have to wear it every day, even when I don't feel like I'm going to be out in the sun very much. I still use it. So first I put on my daytime moisturizer. And of course, all of our skincare in the Younique line comes with your very own personalized boosters, which is really nice because you can add your boosters that are best for your skin type. So for someone like me who has extremely dry skin, I'm trying to minimize wrinkles, I'm in the over 50 crowd, I'm gonna ask for those kinds of boosters, whereas the younger gals, you don't need that. You may be worried more about oil control or environmental shield, or even some, you can get a tinted booster so it has a little bit of color to it. All right, so next up, after I put on my SPF and my daytime moisturizer, now I'm ready to put on my primer. Is the primer important? Absolutely. If you think about painting your walls, if you talk to somebody at a hardware store, they're always going to tell you you can't just paint on drywall. You have to prime your walls first. If you're changing colors, my son at one point in his life had a scarlet and gray bedroom for OSU, for the Buckeyes. When we decided to change the wall color back to a more neutral, sort of an off-white, a vanilla color, we had to cover up that red, that scarlet. Definitely we had to use primer. So think about that. If you've got rosacea, if you've got some redness to your skin, if you've got any kind of issues, you're gonna have to prime that before you put your foundation on. Otherwise, you're not gonna cover up what you're wanting to cover up. If you're like me too, I have extreme dry patches right here across my cheeks where I've got a lot of sun damage. If I put foundation on without primer, my foundation's gonna stick differently to that rough skin than it will, say, across my T-zone. It's going to be slicker and shinier here, and then it's going to be really dull and rough looking over here. So to combat that, you definitely want to use a primer. So a primer is absolutely a must. I'm using our regular primer, just a little dab. We also have a hydrating primer, which I often use. I just happen to be out of it right now. So if dry skin or winter skin is an issue, you can get the hydrating primer. Now, the next question is, what do I put on first, concealer or foundation? I know a lot of gals swear by putting the concealer on first. A lot of gals say, I like to put my foundation on first and then see whether or not I need concealer. If your skin is pretty blemish free, you don't have a lot of redness, you know, I think of my future daughter-in-law, she's got like perfect skin. It's just gorgeous. She can put her foundation on and then look to see if there's anything she needs to cover up, and there's usually not. If you know you've got some blemishes, some red spots, if you've got problems with under eye circles, dark circles under your eyes, you may want to go ahead and put that concealer on first. So if you're going to use the concealer, you can just go ahead, and I use one shade lighter than my foundation under my eyes. Notice I'm going to do an inverted triangle here. If you want to cover up dark spots, you want to go with a lighter color of concealer. If you are trying to camouflage or hide something that you need to recede, for instance, I have a super sharp chin, which was great when I was having my braces put on. Not so great the rest of the time. What I like to do, I have the stick foundation in a darker color than my foundation, and I like to put that right there across my chin to try to bring that in a little bit. And then you can go ahead and buff these in. But now by the same token, if you don't have any issues, you could go ahead and put that foundation on first and then just touch up any spots that you see where you didn't get as much coverage maybe as you would have liked. It's totally up to you. It's really your preference and a little bit of experimentation. I mean, try what works. And even different times of the year, depending on like whether your skin's drier in the winter and oilier in the summer, it may make a difference as to how you do it. So just experiment and see what works best for you. I'm gonna go ahead and put on, I have the spray foundation in 2 different colors. This is the organza, which is a little bit lighter, and I like to put that on right through here, again, where I tend to have the most issues. And then I'm going to go over that with my regular shade, which is the chiffon. And I really do love the spray foundation. We have the spray foundation, we have the stick foundation as you saw, and then we also have the BB cream, which is really nice if you don't need a lot of color. My future daughter-in-law likes the BB cream because she doesn't need much of a foundation. Or we have the liquid foundation, which is really the best coverage, I think. It's kind of like Photoshop in a bottle. Can't go wrong with the liquid. Now, another question I get is, I notice you put your foundation and concealer on before you put your eye makeup on. Again, it's personal preference. A lot of gals swear by putting their eye makeup on first. They say that way if they get any flakes of mascara or eyeshadow or whatever down here on their upper cheeks, that they can just whisk that away when they're putting their foundation on. But I find that I like to put my foundation on first because I like to make sure I get every area around my eye. I don't like to leave anything out. I even put a little bit over my lips because I am going to color those later. So I like to make sure I get all the way around my eyebrows as well. I like to put the foundation on first and then do my eye makeup. But hey, experiment, whatever works best for you. If you like to put your eye makeup on first and then be able to just brush that off underneath, I don't find that I have a lot of flakiness, especially with Younique's products, so it's never a big deal for me. But there you go. That's it in a quick little video. So let me know if you have any more questions and I'll be glad to help you out. If you need a color match, I can help you with that too. I've got a handy dandy little tool, and I've also got a little quiz online that you can take that'll help us figure out the best color for you. And remember, that may differ from winter to summer. All right, friends, that's it for today. Thanks a lot. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.